welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
Ian, my friend, I'm back. Welcome to the Swift Half. How are you?
And I'm back too, Alan. Did you listen to last week's episode?
No. No, I haven't. It's on my list of things to do. Ian, I'm a busy man at the minute. I'm a busy man. And I came back Monday night. What first thing you did, I'm sure you knew you planned it so that I came home on Monday night at 8 o'clock because you dropped a podcast in for me to edit.
Yeah, I think I actually finished it about 8:01.
So I've been doing that and I'm back at work, back to normal. So no, I haven't had time to listen to it. Sorry, Meg. Sorry, Will. Yeah, I did a fast edit for you. I can't wait I've got to go back and listen to it though. It's a must for me.
I will say it was really good. Thank you to both Meg and Will, not least because we kind of dumped it on you a little bit, maybe not telling you the full story, but yeah, thank you both. It was excellent episode. They seem like they're having a lot of fun, but don't worry, listener, the fun stops now. Oh, wait.
The fun definitely stops now. I'm all funned out, mate. I'm actually all funned out from last week. A great week, and we're going to talk about it and all of that in a bit. But I have learnt this week, Ian, so I'm going to give you a bit of behind the scenes private life now. I live with Wreck-It Ralph. Do you remember the cartoon Wreck-It Ralph where he wrecked everything in the house and everywhere you go? I am now convinced that Paula is related in some way, shape or form to Wreck-It Ralph.
I thought for a minute you were talking about your fine pooch, but you're actually talking about Paula, which, you know, she doesn't listen to this even when you edit it, does she?
No, she doesn't know.
That's fine. So why is Paula like Wreck-It Ralph?
Because she's got this habit of if it don't work, we make it work. So first of all, she's in the caravan last week. She's only gone and broke the bloody toilet. Yeah. Not a big thing. We just got to buy a new cassette for it, but because it wouldn't fit back in, because give her a due. Yeah. I always empty the toilet. The first time she's ever emptied the toilet, because in a caravan you've got to, it's an awful job, but someone's got to do it. I always do it. First time she's ever done it because she was in the caravan down in Derby and it wouldn't go back into the hole. So what did she do? Rammed it back into the hole, pushed it as hard as it could till something clicked and it worked. Or it went back in the hole, but it didn't actually work. So, yeah, so that was that. And then she came home and somehow she's managed to break the washing machine. Don't know why. It's got an error code on it. So she decided to fix the washing machine herself while I was at work. She's taken the U-bends off the sink, took all the sink taps off, not the taps, the underneath, all the pipe work, everything you can imagine, all come off to realise that it wasn't anything like that. And then she waited until 6 o'clock when I come home from work to tell me she didn't know how to put it back together again.
Well, are you sure it was Paula with a washing machine? Because we're going down a chain already, listener, but stay with us. I swear there's some OCR and fitness racing eventually. But are you sure it was Paula? Because, Alan, there was over here on the other side of the Pennines, we had this kind of weird cat burglar called Carl. Have you heard about him?
No, I haven't, no.
Well, he never stole anything, but he'd get in your house and he'd wreck your washing machine.
Really? There's a bloke who actually did that.
It was bizarre, but there was great news, and he might have moved to your side of Pennines. He stopped doing it because he left,
Yeah.
which is incredible because, of course, our washing machines last longer with Cal gone.
Oh my God. Oh, and you proper happened. I genuinely thought there was a bloke out there who was going around and messing up with people. Oh, oh, washing machines lost longer with Calgon. Good one, mate. Good one. You know
Hey,
that that leads me into my first story of Overload. I'm going to tell you this story because it leads so much into it before we talk about what we're drinking. Throughout the day, Emma Kirkwood was running, and throughout the night she was running as well. But every time she came back into the pit, Victoria Wheelhouse told her a joke, and those were the types of jokes that were told. So yeah, it was absolutely was something about. I can't remember. There were a kiddie joke. We had a kiddie joke, but it kept Emma going. She was laughing the whole time. So yeah, that was one of the funniest things. Everyone was waiting around when Emma came in, just so they could hear these rubbish jokes.
oh, please, can we have them in the pub? I'm not sure if they're part of the pub, but if they're not, let's put them in, and I want the jokes.
I will ask them to put them in the pub. We'll get some funny jokes in the pub, some one-liner jokes and that. But what are you drinking tonight, Ian?
Well, I'm actually inspired by last week's podcast, and this made more sense when I thought you'd listen to it. But anyway, last week, Meg was saying all about, well, they were talking about Ribena, and in particular, warm Ribena or hot Ribena.
Oh,
Well,
lovely.
it is great. Although I prefer hot Vimto. It's weird. Cold Ribena, hot Vimto. But I've got some Ribena, some cold Ribena, because I thought it was a nice tribute. That's the reason, not because it was the only thing I could drink in the Tesco meal deal. Absolutely, it's a tribute to Meg. Okay?
Honestly, Meg, it's a tribute to you.
What are you drinking?
Well, I got a tribute to someone as well. So, as you know, we gave a free ticket away to Total Warrior to Steve. Although it didn't really free, it cost him £350 at the end of the day, because the wife had to go and everything else. But he brought me one of the beers back. So if you are on YouTube, you can see this. This is a Northern Monk Leap of Faith Total Warrior. I love it. So they do Faith beer, but they call this Leap of Faith. It's a special can, and it's a hazy pale ale. He did say he doesn't like it. So he had two cans. He drank one, brought me one. He says he doesn't like it. So this is live on air. We're going to see what it tastes like. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's got grapefruit in it. That without a doubt. I'm 100% that has got some type of grapefruit in there. And as everyone knows, grapefruit with Elvis juice is my favourite beer. Oh, that is good. 5% though, Ian. So by the end of this show, you might be on your own.
Maybe indeed. I should probably give Meg a text now, just in case she needs to jump on. But I can't believe you're drinking it, Alan, because you got how much it cost, Steve, the race then for a second. You said it cost him a few £100. We all know that it cost him 45 grand, and he got two beers. So that's a 22.5 grand beer you're drinking.
You just left it on the side, shouldn't I? Like, for no one to touch. Yeah, just leave it there forever. I like it. I mean, it's even got finisher written on it. I mean, this is pretty cool. I've got to turn around and say, you know, what it's done. It says 15, celebrating 15 years of mud, sweat, and glory. They've gone right overboard. You know, proper Total Warrior thing. Much more professional than our jam that we have. Although our jam, I think, goes down a little bit better than the Total Warrior beer.
It does. Before we move on to Farmyard Jam, are their dates correct? Did they really host their first Total Warrior in 2011? Because Tough Mudder wasn't until, I want to say, 2012, 2013.
Yeah, yeah. I want to say yes, around about that age. I remember doing it in 2012. No, Tough Mudder was before that. I started my first OCR in 2012. I'm sure Tough Mudder was around, yes, because someone mentioned it. So Tough Mudder was around probably a year before when I got into 2012. So yeah, I would definitely say there was around them, because I remember doing Shap. Shap was the first one. It done a few there before they then moved to 2 events, one in Leeds, one in Shap. So yeah, I'm going to say yes, they did.
Gosh, I'm getting old. Thus we all are. However, something that keeps you young is exercise, and there were quite a few people doing a lot of exercise in Derby this past weekend. So, Alan, take it away.
Ian, I've got loads of thank yous, but I'm not gonna go through them all. You all know you are. I've put it all on social media. But big thank you. But just wanted to British Obstacle Sports technical officials, 100% thank you to every one of you. We all had our 10-minute power naps in the middle of the night, which was one of the funniest things when you've got 6 people and only one person staying awake just in case there's a whistle goes off for an emergency. So woke everyone up, but it was absolutely fine. It was perfect. It was absolutely amazing. We had some amazing stuff go off here. So a couple of funnies I've got to tell you about. Tim rocked up. So Tim Rolfe rocked up and he brought some medals with him in. So as you know, we weren't having medals at Farmyard this year. We gave the hats away, yeah, which was our medals. Each one had your number of laps written in it and DNF if you didn't finish. If you finished, the one lap that said finisher and 24 on. But so we gave hats away. But listening to the podcast, Tim decided to make us some medals. These were Farmyard Jam. It said Farmyard Jam, and it had 18 laps written on it and a piece taken out of it. And this is purely because we released the marathon that was only 18 miles. So we had to go out on the 18 lap and offer people medals to finish. And people did. People went, yeah, I'll finish for that medal after running for 18 hours. We had 4 people finish on that lap.
How many medals did he make?
He made 11 in total. So we did actually give the others away to people who finished the full 24, who did the full trip. We gave them one as well. Because they all went to, everyone who finished off the 18, everyone went to 24 laps, which was great. We had 7 solos and 2 teams. So they all went the full distance, which was absolutely fantastic. But that was the funny things. Now, I don't know if you know the second one. Have you seen the reel that's on social media, that's on our Facebook page, of what happened at midnight?
No, I saw Paula's reel of the finishers. That was a really good reel. Paula probably made a mistake with that reel because we know she can take good footage. So, Paula, no more just hiding in the caravan. We're going to get you a camera. You're going to put you to work. But what happened at midnight?
So we had a little plan. It was supposed to be me, Jamie, and Rob. However, Rob's not been well, so he stayed at home. It didn't come down. So we got Jill Tompkins, which is Shelley's mum, to come and join us, and me, Jamie, Jill, and we took Sam Gascoigne to go and film for us. And we got dressed up. We got dressed up in the middle of the dark, hid behind some hay bales until the runners came by, and the runners didn't know nothing about this. Yeah, we had inflatable fancy dress costumes, so it looked like I was riding a chicken, Jamie was riding a cow, and Jill was riding a chicken, and we chased the runners around the field. We chased the runners around the field in the pitch black, dressed in inflatable cows and chickens. Ian, oh, I've never laughed so much. For 20 minutes, I could not stop laughing.
It sounds well. I'm gonna have to watch it on socials. Did anyone get angry at being chased by an inflatable chicken?
No one got angry. There was a couple of comments when they were like, someone, oh, I wonder what were running to us. And I don't know who it was, but they actually turned around and said to us afterwards, they turned to the person they were running with and went, can you see some chickens and a cow? People riding chickens and a cow. And they went, yeah. He went, oh my God, thank God I'm not hallucinating.
Oh, set the scene. How many laps have they done at that part?
So they'd done 14 laps. They were on the 15th lap. This is midnight. I mean, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but quite a few people had dropped out at this point. The 6 hours had all dropped out. The 12 hours had done. We were a point where it was starting to spread out a little bit, the field, you know, but people still running, but we did everyone. We didn't leave no one out, right from first to last. They all got to see the chickens and the cow in the fields. The whole idea for this Farmyard Jam was we wanted to mix it up, Ian. We wanted to balance running with achievement with fun. And I think we did. I think we got all three of them absolutely perfect. We made it difficult enough. We had water in it, and I'm going to come back to the water in a second. We had the fun elements in it. We were opening and closing things, and they didn't even know until they were actually coming back. So, for instance, the water was on right up until I want to say 11 p.m. So you went out at 11, and you got round to the mud and the water, and we changed the course. So there was no mud and there was no water from 11 o'clock. Every other obstacle was in it, and everyone loved it. You know, everyone was like, oh, yeah, you're the best. You're absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. And what they didn't know, that when the sun came up, we put them obstacles back in. And the best comment, and they didn't know until they got halfway around the course. Yeah, we were doing all this sneakily, and we were doing all sneakily halfway around the course, and they knew. And I think it was Lauren Drake came back. She got to the obstacles at the start, and I was right close to him, and she went, I hate you. And I went, what do you mean? What have I done? And she made the best comment ever. I felt like a little kid. She went, you know what you've done. It was just like a mum telling a kid off.
Well, Lauren, I'm not sure how well you know Alan. Usually when you say that, you need to give him a list. Give him a list, and he can work it out from a list, maybe.
Yeah.
It might need to write on both sides of the paper.
Both. In fact, you get a toilet roll, you can write all the way down the toilet roll.
All the way, yeah.
On everything.
No, it sounds incredible. I'm sorry I missed it this year, Alan. As you know, we just got off the cruise. We got home late on Thursday. Friday was a write-off, and then Saturday became what I should have done on Friday. So, as you know, we've got a couple of things with podcasts that we'll announce in due course. We'll keep the listeners on tenterhooks for that, but I needed to get round to that. So I was doing that, and we'll probably chat about the cruise at some point. So I'm really sorry I missed it, because I'm going to miss it next year, because everyone's missing it next year. However, 2028, Alan, I will do my absolute best, because I know you're really upset about you not going next year, but you're making the right choice, given your commitments. So yeah, 2028, what are the plans?
Well, I don't know for 2028, Ian, but I can tell you what's happening in 2027. The Farmyard Jam's back. We're coming back next year. I wasn't even ready for this, and I'm going to turn around and say it was genuine. We wasn't going to do one in 2027. Tuesday, Jamie rocked up. We started building stuff. We started talking, and then come by 10 o'clock at night after we'd had a few beers, we both realised we can't miss a year. We can't miss a year. So we're back. There is no registration set up for it, because we wasn't going to do it. There's nothing set up at all. We've got no advertisements for it. There's nothing planned whatsoever. So this week, after work, I'm trying to get everything sorted. But yeah, so I know I said it was going to be the last one for a year, but it's not going to be the last one. It's going to be coming back next year.
Is it with animals and going back on what we're saying? We've had Mr. Mouse. Now we've got Mr. Duck doing it. Is there a donkey sanctuary somewhere in Derbyshire that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, we should set up a donkey sanctuary. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I never wanted to do it. I never wanted to be like that. I mean, I hated it when Mr. Mouse did it. I'm going to turn around and say I did. Everyone who rocked up, we did tell them that we changed our mind. We were coming back 2027. It was genuinely, and I mean this from my heart, we were genuinely not going to do it. It was all decided we weren't going to do it. And then it was decided because we got down, we were talking, and we just said, yeah, we're going to do it. It's going to go ahead. We're going to come back and do it. We have got a few changes, Ian. So one of them, do you remember when, if you go back to the early Olympics, to get to the Olympics, you're given a coin to enter. I don't know if you remember this. To go to Sparta, you're given a Spartan coin to go into the Olympics to compete. And I do believe Sparta used to do it some of their races at one point. Well, the Farmyard Jam's going to do it. So if you enter the Farmyard Jam, you are going to get a coin that you have got to bring to the race as your entry token. If you don't bring the coin to the race, you'll have to pay again. Simple as. So everyone's going to get a coin sent out to them who enters the Farmyard Jam. Only 24 hours, by the way. And we've made some changes. Can I give you some changes as well? Once I finish this off. So if you enter 24 hours, you're going to get a coin. And then once you're finished, we're going to give it you back, but that's going to be your entry fee.
Okay, that's fair. And I do want to walk back the comparison to Mr. Mouse. You didn't actually say this was the last Overlord Farmyard Jam ever to try and ramp up ticket sales. You were quite, and I don't think I'm betraying confidence. You were quite cut up about the initial choice anyway, but you figured you kind of had to do it, and it wasn't to drive ticket sales because Alan, you can be the voice on this, because it didn't drive ticket sales. So if that was the idea, it failed miserably. Let's be honest. But it was always a case of you had other stuff in 2027. So 2028 was going to be the next one. I'm going to ask for, you still have all that stuff in 2027. So how are you going to fit this in?
Well, that's the thing. We're not going to do the spine. Me and Jamie have completely decided we're not going to do the spine. We might do it in small sections. So we might do it over the year in smaller sections. But we looked at it and we thought, right, we've got to do 30 plus miles. And I think what did it for me was world's toughest Mudder Yorkshire, realizing that I got injured, doing 30 miles and then saying the next day I got to do a 30 again. Could I do that? And I was like, I can't. And at my age, me getting injured, I'm taking longer to recover. Now, Jamie's got injuries as well. Rob's got a few injuries. Rob's not run for like 4 weeks. The last time he went was he went to do an 100-mile ultra and he did 18 miles of it. So yeah, it's one of them things. Can we do it? Who knows? But we have got other things going. I want to do world's toughest Mudder again. Whether I go down to race or media, I want to go down there again, and I want to put on this, and it's more fun. It's more fun. I get to see Paula. She makes us seafood linguine, which is absolutely fantastic, and fetches it up to the race. So it's like, how can I not go down just for that? Very
true. Although I'm not sure seafood linguine when you don't have a toilet in your caravan is the best choice, but you do yourselves, I guess. So that answers that question. But you mentioned you're going to make changes.
Yes, we have got lots of changes coming up. So for people who want to know, we're doing 24 hours, 10 a.m. till 10 a.m. the next day, or 10 a.m. the last lap runs at 9 a.m. We are doing 2 12-hour events. Okay, so you can either run at 10 a.m. start at 10 a.m. or you can start at 10 p.m. So one or other. If you prefer to run through at night, you can run through at night. If you prefer to run through day, you can run through day. We're not doing the 6 hours, so it's going to be a straight up 12 hours. But then you can do 6 hours if you want. You don't mean you've got to run for 12 hours. You run for as many laps as you want. And then on the back of it, we are going to do a 1-lapper. So it's going to be cheap as chips, and it's going to be 1 lap. Do you want to run 1 lap at Farmyard Jam, either at 10 a.m. or at 10 p.m.? So we've got all these, and then we've got the doubles for both. We're going to do a doubles for the 24 hours. And then we're going to do a doubles that covers day and night, starting at 4 p.m. and finishing your last lap at 3 a.m. So you're going to get a bit of day and night on a pairs event. So, and the whole idea is to try and get us a lot of runners running throughout the whole event. So we don't start off with lots and then we dwindle down. One of the feedback we got from a few years ago, I don't remember this one here, when we started Overload at 10 o'clock, but then, sorry, we started Farmyard Jam at 10 o'clock, but then we started Overload at 2 o'clock, and it was like a big boost for all the Farmyard Jam runners. So that was a bit of feedback. So we said we're going to try and do that a little bit and get people in that day. There is going to be no overload. Overload, from our point of view, that the actual race Overload is now done and dusted, and we're just going to stick with Farmyard Jam, one lap, 12 hours, 24 hours, and then the pairs events. And we've got a juniors one as well.
So you can also do 24 as well. You don't have to do either one of the 12s.
No, you can do 24. The 12 hour and the 24 hour are the same price, Ian. They are exactly the same price because it costs us exactly the same amount of money per runner to put a 12 or a 24-hour event on. There is no difference. So, you can run a 10 or a 12, exactly the same. Sorry, a 12 or a 24, it's exactly the same price.
So I guess in theory, it's pick your poison. And some of you might want to think, you know what, I'll just do 24 rather than starting in 12, and I'll just keep going. And if I hit 12 hours and want to quit, I can do. But presumably, does the winner of that 12-hour block get something?
They are going to get a finisher. So they will get whatever we give away, and we're moving away from the medal side of things. As I said, this year we're going to hats. Who says we're going to do hats next year? People love the hats. I've got lots of feedback about the hats. Everyone seems to be sending me pictures of wearing hats at work, which I quite like. Whatever we do, they will get one that says finisher on. Only the winner of the 12-hour will get a finisher one. And same as the winner of the 24-hour one will get something that says finisher on. But everyone else will get a DNF, which was gutted, Ian, on the Farmyard Jam this year when we had 7 people finish 24 and 6 of them 7 had to have DNF written in their hat. DNF 24 hours.
Yeah, let's touch on that in a second. Have you got anything else to chat about Farmyard Jam?
No, I'm good.
Well, firstly, can we say who won for and the people who finished for 24 hours? Have you got that handy?
I haven't, but I can go through them. I think I know them all. So please bear with me. First of all, someone who didn't go 24 hours, Jane Campbell. The longest we've had a female go. I think she did 20 or 21 hours, which is absolutely phenomenal. She was coming in quite late, but she made it back every time until she eventually got timed out. So a big well done to her. The winner, Sam McLeish, absolutely smashed it. Second place was Jamie Schofield. Third place was Chris Garcia. Fourth place, Anthony Spalding. Okay, then fifth and sixth we had Colin Campbell. Oh, and then sixth was Mark Wheelhouse. So there's 6 finishers, 6 solo finishers. I hope I haven't missed one there. 6 solo finishers. Mark Wheelhouse was absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to turn around and say, at one lap, I think lap 16, Ian, it came in with about 5 or 10 seconds to spare. Literally finished, crossed the finish line, walked straight over the start line, and it was the last one in every lap, apart from, so it was the last one into start box every lap, apart from the very last lap when he got in there early and he went to everyone, is it nobody bothered about doing a 24th lap then? Which was quite, it made everyone joke about it, yeah. So that was those. I hope I missed no one out. I feel like I've missed someone out. If I have, I really apologise, and I'll do an apology call next week. And then in the solos, we had Lauren and Lyle.
In the teams.
In the teams, yeah. So in the pairs, and Selena and Neil that won the pairs. Lauren and Lyle came for the first time last year, and they are called the inheritance baggers because they think up of random things to try and kill each other. So only one of them gets the inheritance when the parents kick their clogs. And they're doing 52 different events this year. Every weekend they're doing a different event to try and break the other one.
Wow. I'm not actually sure how to follow that. Maybe we need a psychological analysis of certain competitors. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure it's all in good fun.
Yeah. I said Jamie Schofield into our second place. There's just another story behind this. I don't know if you know, but we actually filmed it live. But it's been taken down, Ian. And we do believe It's because Jamie, about half a mile into it, as we was filming them, decided to stop and get his todger out for a pee. So we think the live video has been taken down off social media.
Well done, Jamie. I guess, but yeah, I thought you were going to tell me that he started singing a Disney classic and the mouse had eradicated it. Right. Moving from Farmyard Jam, one of the perhaps interesting quirks about Farmyard Jam. Oh, before we move on, sorry, Alan,
Yeah.
you mentioned about various things aren't set up yet. Do you at least have a date?
We do, yes. That's up to date. And we're moving back to 28th of August. It's a bank holiday. There's been no event on bank holiday for the last 3 years, apart from when Farmyard's been on or Overload's been on. So we feel that it's an event. Everyone wants to come back. I mean, the feedback's been brilliant, so I reckon more people want to come. And we have had a few people who mentioned they wanted to come, but they went to OCR games instead. So yeah, we're going to go back to August bank holiday in 2027. And then we're probably going to go to May the following year in 2028. So we are planning 2028 already. Hopefully 2027 is going to go down absolutely fantastic. If it does, we'll be back for 2028. But yeah, we're going to go for August. Bank holiday August is going to be beautiful weather. I've ordered the sun already. I've ordered the spring to be full. I've ordered the farmer to make sure that there's lots of ruts and rough ground. No, I'm not joking on that bit. It was beautiful running down there for a change as well, by the way. But lots of mud we're wanting and things like that. So yeah, back to August. Always been a great weekend for us. So we're going to go back to that for next year.
You heard it here first. Look forward to Tough Mudder, North Wales, nuclear races on the road, and Wolf Run all in August bank holiday next year. You've heard it here first, more than likely. But moving on, one of the it's not famous, but one of the quirks of Farmyard Jam, because it's not a backyard ultra, but it has a backyard ultra feel. One of the quirks is this idea that if you hit the 24-hour mark or 48 hours when you really went crazy once, but if you hit that, it's a sprint lap at the end, and whoever wins wins. And effectively, it goes off gun time because, well, why wouldn't it for something like that?
Yeah.
You probably missed it in Spain this past weekend. They have the Dekka Cup, which is kind of like Spain's creme a la creme when it comes to Dekka. They put a lot of time behind it. In the women's race, I'll just read out the results. Alba Lopez was in third place. Friend of the show, Tanya Tees was in second. And Melanie Timon, who I think is relatively new to the Dekka scene, she was in first place. In the men's race, they had a burpee off between third place was Daniel Paran. So he finished third. They had a burpee off between Pablo Sanchez and Aitor Lizaru. Okay.
Okay.
Not uncommon. And it was on some kind of live stream. And Pablo just crossed that finish line before Aitor. What a finish, yeah?
Cool, like that, yeah. Well done to him.
Yeah, excellent finish. Until the results came out, and Aitor was ahead of Pablo by 0.2 seconds. So 200ths of a second.
This is chip time then.
Chip time.
You see, chip time has got a place, but you've got to start the chips all at the same time. You can't turn around and have someone, this annoys me. This, and I've seen it. If you're looking at something like the London Marathon, yeah, where all the waves are going off at different times, fully get it. Yeah, big marathons like that, fully getting off. If you've got smallish waves of 10, 12 people, they all go at the same time. It's got to be a gun start. You can't have someone that runs from the back. And I'm a believer of this. If anyone watched Farmyard Jam, I don't want to argue at Farmyard Jam, but for first mile, maybe mile and a half, what you saw was Sam McLeish sitting behind Chris Garcia. When you're sitting behind someone, it's easier to stay with them. Yeah. So, in this instance, you could go, oh, well, I'm going to give a full second. I'll just stay with them. I'll just stay with them all the way. You know, you're drafting them in theory, and then when you get to finish, yeah, all you've got to make sure is you're within a second of their time and you've won. No, Ian, get to bloody gun time.
And I wholeheartedly agree because it's a shame as it was a stunning moment on the video, and it then left the fans a little bit flat. And the last thing you want to do is leave the fans flat. You can't call out Aitor for doing it. He lined up in the second row because I think there was either 10 or 12, so you're five across. He lined
Yeah.
up in second row. I don't know whether it was deliberate by him or not, or you take it to your advantage. So yeah, I agree with you on multiple waves. Absolutely. When it's an elite, no, you really should all start. And if there's a way of assigning where you start, I agree. One person who, of course, was going off chip time, but we're going to let him off, was a certain Josh Kerr because Josh Kerr smashed the previous record, Alan, by less than 0.5 of a second. Just unbelievable what Josh did. Alan, I'm going to presume you didn't really see it.
I did and I didn't. So this was mid-race for us. And yeah, I mean, Tommy mentioned it to me down the race. He went, I'm going to shoot off. Him and Ross Jam and Tommy and Ross Jam and shut off to go and watch it. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to watch this. And then I was watching the races come in, and then of course I caught up it on BBC News and that. I mean, amazing. I mean, is it 40 years it stood for, or something strange like that?
I want to say 14, but it could equally be 40. Whatever it is, it's unbelievable that we're getting closer and closer to 3 minutes and a half, which just it boggles the mind when you think how long it took to break 4 minutes.
I know. 3 minutes 42 seconds, nearly half a second off it. That's the phenomenal part for me. You know, you normally see really small drops, but half a second. And I mean, I think he could have gone faster. From what I saw, I reckon he could have gone that little bit faster as well, and maybe got it to the 3:41.
You know what I loved about it, Alan?
Go on.
He was wearing Brooks.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that actually. Yeah, one of the original running shoes.
And I just liked it for that reason. You know, I love underdogs, and in this world of carbon shoes and Nike and Adidas, it is sometimes great when one of the original running shoes, which were completely made for running, goes out and gets an achievement like that. So well done to Josh Kerr. However, Alan, although it wasn't a complete mile, that wasn't the fastest time split recorded that particular day.
Oh, someone recorded a faster split.
I did.
You do. Oh, I'm gonna be. There's gonna be something. Ian ran ran a mile faster than 3:42.66.
I didn't run a mile faster than
Okay.
that. I did, however, get my average time down to 3:15 according to my Garmin.
Tell me more. I need more on this. More of this information, please.
Well, as you know, I went on the cruise, and we've probably not got enough time to talk about the whole thing. We'll table that for next week and then forget about it. But the big issue you can have with going on a cruise is there's lots of food. So I decided resolution going on there. I'll go to the gym as much as I can. I'll also go for a run if I can. And you could run. And there was a horseshoe running track there, so you went up and down it.
Okay.
However, I was running whilst we were at sea. So when I was running with the ship, my average time dropped from my conservative of 11-minute miles all the way down, like I say, to 3:15 at one point.
Oh my God. Oh, I think we talked about whether this would happen, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago, but it actually did. That's phenomenal. I'm loving that.
It was only, I want to say, it wasn't for very long, but it was enough that I could notice it. Of course, when I turned round, it was then 20-minute miles.
I was going to say, when you're running one way, you can start, but when you're like you stood still, you're not running. Ship's
Well,
traveling at
it's
10 mile an hour. You're running at 10 mile an hour. That's enough.
yeah, I did 5K, and it was actually the furthest I've run without stopping for a while because it just felt good. It felt fun as well. You know, I'm a sucker for fun miles, but they did say that the horseshoe was a third of a mile, so I did 9 laps. So that was a 5K. Okay.
Yeah.
However, according to my Strava, I did 4.5 miles. So my Strava has my fastest ever mile, my fastest ever 5K, and a few other records that I'll never ever beat. And what's hilarious, if you go onto my Strava, you have a look at it, it looks like a little bit of just a squiggly line. You cannot see the horseshoe at all.
That's because you're moving in the back. Oh, I love it, Ian. I love that. That's absolutely classic. That's absolutely
So,
classic.
so Brooks, you wasted all of that money on making these special shoes for Josh. It was so much money wasted. You could have spent a couple of £100, sent him on a cruise, and you would have smashed it.
So right. Did you run your Puma Nitros?
I actually didn't. I ran in Brooks because I didn't take my Puma Nitros with me. I took the gym shoes, which I use for gym, but I took my Brooks because they're a nice, they're a nice pair of black shoes that you can get away with as smart casual as they currently look quite nice. So if I had a pair of dress shoes as well, I'd be wearing them a lot of time. But yeah, so 2 records set with Brooks this past weekend. So well done to us. While we talk about athletics, this was something that I was actually surprised that Will and Meg didn't mention last week, but I also we're not sure when they recorded, Alan, because I have a sneaking suspicion that unlike me and you know, it's currently a little bit before 6 a.m. as we're recording this on the Friday. I
Yeah.
have a feeling they pre-recorded theirs. So this news may not have been out. And the news is, and it's reported on BBC, about new guidelines for, well, cameramen, photographers, when they are engaging with female sports. And it's sadly, if you're watching on YouTube, you're getting double vision of Alan at the moment, and you can't really see the article. But
We'll
new
try that again.
guidelines, yeah, absolutely try that again. And while you're doing that, I will happily, you know, fill in all the listeners as to what we're talking about. So basically, they're requiring camera people, digital marketing people to be, I'm going to say more polite. You know, be respectful, take better camera angles when covering live female athlete events. So think about what you're shooting. You know, don't film angles that'll make the athletes feel uncomfortable, like overtly from behind or from below. You know, they're ultimately athletes, and they are not there as models. They are there to compete. And again, as they say, you know, lingering shots, low camera angles that capture revealing views, and excessive slow motion replays. Again, I can agree with this. And although this is aimed at female athletes, I think male athletes as well. We all remember having a good snicker about Linford Christie's lunchbox back in the 90s. But the world's moved on from there, and these athletes should just be allowed to enjoy the sport and compete. Alan, what say you?
100% agreeing. You're right, and I was thinking more Linford Christie as well. We remember Linford Christie back then with the lunchbox and things like that. And there's been, I think last year there was a pole vaulter, wasn't there? There was a male pole vaulter which they kept showing slow motions and going over it, which was, I think did he knock the pole off? I think with it, and then with slow motions. But you're right, with women, it's very sexualized. Those, especially the pole vault and the high jumpers, which showing you underneath them. I do get a little bit when they do slow motions with things like the high jump if it's from the side and it's showing you technique, but they don't need to be linger on it far too long. And things like, or they're showing you how they just caught the bar. I get that bit, but you're right. Let's make sport sporty and not sexualize it.
Absolutely. And Alan, it's one of the things we all struggle with because we create content. And I'm sure, like me, you've probably deleted far more videos than you've put up because you look at it and the angle is not flattering to the subject, not always in a sexualized nature, just not flattering. So you'll delete it, or you perhaps will show it to the athlete and you'll get their permission. You know, if it's a particularly funny one, which is unflattering, you may invite the athlete and give them final say on what to do with it. So, yeah, I fully support this, and I hope that more creators and more camera people take it on board. So, moving on from that, let's chat about, well, what's coming up this weekend. We've got Tough Mudder Yorkshire, which is actually in Yorkshire, just.
Will asked me actually says, "Am I going to Tough Mudder Yorkshire?" That's actually maybe in Yorkshire. And unfortunately, I'm not going in. I'm actually working. I've been asked to work this Saturday, so unfortunately, I've got to work. I did just have the link up there, but it seems to have gone for our watchers. So we will stop sharing that. Have you looked at the map? Have you seen the map? It's looking good, Ian, from what I can see.
Yeah, it is. I will say, looking at the obstacles, I do like how they've been mixing up the order this time. I
Yep.
do like how it is, and I think this is particularly cruel, although I've not checked how far you're running. I think going from Block Ness when you're going to be soaking wet straight into electroshock therapy is evilly genius.
The next to each other, when I've looked on the map that I can see, they are super close to us. It is back across from what I can see. I'm not convinced whether we're back across the road or not this year because it does look like there's a bit of uh, the estate, the Broughton Estates there, but I do think it's back across the road to where it was last year, in them open fields. Um, One thing, what you're talking about, Block Ness and that, they're very next to each other. So I'm going to say, yeah, Ian, you're going to be right next to each other. You're going to wet through 21 Block Ness, 22 Electroshock within the space of 100 meters. Interesting that Mudderhorn isn't at the end, Ian.
Yeah, it's actually the fourth obstacle. This gives me not visions, memories of when electroshock therapy found itself in the middle of courses. So I will say it's quite a hard start, to be fair, because you've got Kiss and Mud, followed by Lumberjacked, which is always a little bit tough. A sternum checker is never fun. But you've got Twinkle Toes, and then you've got Mudderhorn, all in a relatively short space. So I do wonder why they put it there. I wonder if it's a case of having a big obstacle for people to see on that side to kind of maybe space out the spectators. Because what you do have is you have spectators going to Mudderhorn and then going to Electro. So maybe it's for that reason, or maybe just wanting to electrocute a lot of sopping wet athletes. Who knows?
I do like how they're doing a bit of an out and back on quite often. So from the start, you've got one's a bit far away, but then when you've got 3 and 4 very close to the start, you got because it comes back that way. Same with 5 and 6 and 8, which as all the big obstacles. I think number 8 is Hanging Tough, 7's Arctic Enema. And then you've got Everest, which is right near the start line as well. So as they're running out, they're going to come back right to Everest. I think it's going to be a great event for spectators. You're going to be able to walk around and get to see a lot going off, Ian.
It's going to be a great event for spectators. I'm really curious how the Infinity lot are going to find it, particularly having Mudderhorn that early. especially if you're having to do any penalties before going back in, because as you know, you lose bands in Infinity and then you've got to gain them back. So definitely going to be curious how you get on. Can't wait to hear how well our resident Mudder Honk Will finds it, because I'm sure he's gonna let us know. Gonna bounce around into fitness racing corner just quickly, because talking about Tough Mudder Yorkshire, we also have another Spartan branded event happening down in Manchester, and that is the Dekka event. So that's where I'm going to be. What they have done this weekend, which is kind of cool, and we probably should share this, is they've done a little bit of an athlete guide, Alan. Have you had a chance to have a look at this? It's almost like a program. We used to get these a lot, and there's been a bit of a dying art, but it's telling you all about Manchester. I absolutely love it.
I went to have a look at it. It's on flipsnack.com, if I remember rightly. However, I can't have access to publication here, so I can't actually read it. All I'm getting, and I'm going to share this for our watchers on YouTube. All I'm getting is a big screen that says it's on Manchester Flipsnack, and if I can go and unlock the credit after unlock a trial, it's turning around to me. I've got to pay £85 a month, 38 or £16 a month. So I think I've actually watched it, gone on there once, and my trial's ended here. So no, I can't read it, I'm afraid.
Try again.
Okay, let's try that again. I will open up the link again.
Yep.
That you've sent me. This is great for our listeners. Sorry, listeners.
No, it absolutely is. While you're going that, like I say, I've got it on mine, and I like we've got things like it actually is like a real magazine. So we've got like What's in My Bag by Kirsty Hyams, who's a friend of the show. Then it's talking about they're doing special waves there. So Jason Curtis is doing the Deadly Dozen wave. You've got the Rocks Queens doing a wave. You've got Meals doing a wave. I like how they're different, because Jason Curtis is perhaps the more experienced racer in terms of making it a competitive race, whereas Mills is definitely a little bit more of a fun runner. And yeah, Alan, you appear to have figured out how to get it working.
I certainly have. I like this. This is pretty cool, isn't it? Hello from Manchester. How to get there? Manchester first. Oh, Ian, I like this. This
It's
is a
incredible.
yeah.
We'll drop a link in the show notes. I'll rephrase that. We'll aim to drop a link in the show notes. We'll forget, message us when we don't, and we'll then drop it in the show notes. But yeah, really cool. I'm not sure, how long it'll last, because as you say, it said something about your trial there. So I'm not sure if that's my trial or their trial, and it's gonna suddenly expire. But hopefully it stays there for a while, because it is super cool. So we got that. Also, need to plug the fact that this will be a step up from the tour in the water we saw at Dekka East Midlands. We're going to have some partners there doing activations. There is free entry for spectators, so absolutely head on. There's going to have DJs there, including Alan, and I'll give a shout out to Mike Nolan for this. Andy Pickles is going to be there. Do you know who Andy Pickles is?
I've heard the name, but no, I'm going to say no. I do know the name from somewhere.
Okay, what about if I said Jive Bunny and the Master Mixers?
Jive, but from Swinton, very close to me originally. Jive Bunny and the Master Mixers, yes.
Yep, that is who it is. It's Mr.
Oh,
Bunny.
wow. That was the next village to where I was. Well, 2 villages away from where I was born.
Mr. Bunny is going to be there. He was saying he was going to come back next year, but I think he's postponed it to run a donkey sanctuary, and he's coming back in 2028. But he's definitely there this weekend, Mr. Bunny. So I think he's on Saturday. It's also the first ever Dekka Ultra, which we'll mention last week, is 5 laps of Dekka. So, 25K plus all the Dekka Joy, I'm gonna call it, and you get a belt buckle. I'm so tempted. They're going to do this again in London. If I can get myself healthy, I'm tempted just for a belt buckle because it looks super cool. So we've got that. So if you happen to be around Manchester, as I mentioned, spectator tickets are free. Although please download a spectator ticket and head across. And you know how Spartan is famous for its trifectas?
Yes.
We've got a trifecta of Spartan news because as I was coming back from the cruise, I saw in the OCR report, I didn't get a chance to read it, the Spartan license. Alan, I'm in your gift for this because I've no clue.
Well, this, Ian, and if you're on YouTube, I'm going to share the OCR report that shared this. This is actually what a lot of people, yeah, on the surface have been asking for. So basically, it's a license to race the elite. So when does the elite license start? It starts 2027, yeah, and it's going to be, you're going to need this license to access any elite eats at the regional or the world championship. So you've got to get this license, which is absolutely great. There's no direct application process, so you don't have to apply for it. You've got to qualify it. So far, so good, Ian. It sounds absolutely perfect. Qualify, you're going to get there. How do you qualify? So, in any race category, regular Spartan race, if you're elite athlete in there, you're going to finish top 15 overall. And same for an age group. If you're an age group athlete, top 15th overall, elite and age group. So all these are how you're going to qualify for the finals. Yep, absolutely brilliant. So if you're an age group, and you can then go and qualify, you can qualify for your elite license, race in elite. All absolutely fantastic. Will there be wild cards? Yeah, but on an exception. No para athletes, and it goes on and tells you a little bit more. However, we get to a point, okay, where it then the whole idea behind this, Ian, for me, is great because it means you're going to have the most elite competitive race going. Yeah. So if you age group and you win, or you run any elite and you win top, you get top 15, you're going to be able to run elite in the regional, the worlds, everything else. So we could have quite a big field. We could have quite a big elite field of 50, 60, even 100 runners in elite field. Absolutely fantastic. The best racers racing against each other in the elite Spartan race because you've got your elite license. Loving it. So far, so good. However, if you get your elite license, yeah, and you get to the regional or the worlds, and you don't want to run elite, even though you've got your elite license, you can sandbag it and drop down to AG.
What, by just giving up your elite license?
Just giving it up. Here, don't want it. I'll race AG instead. This is absolutely, it beggars belief. It does, because I love the thing behind it all is great. You're going to get the best racers racing against the best. It would then mean that in age group, you would have the best age group racers racing against the best age group racers, because all the elites are going to, everyone who can run at elite pace, who can finish top 15 elites, is going to be running the elites. So fantastic. Let them run the elites. Just because they're going to run against the best in the world and they're going to come halfway through the field, some people, and not everyone, yeah, so I'm not tiring this brush to everyone, because a lot of people will see it as I see it and say, yeah, it's a privilege to run elite, yeah. But some people will go, I'm never going to podium, but I know if I go down to age group, I'm going to win it. And they're going to go back down to age group.
Yeah, because I'm just reading here. Can elite licensed athletes race in age group? Okay.
Yeah.
And he says no, which on the surface, Alan, seems great. Fantastic. This is what we've been asking. And I'll read it out. No, athletes who accept the elite license must race in the elite category at championship events whenever an elite heat is offered. Okay.
Yeah.
Penalty. Competing in age groups at an event with an elite license will result in the immediate cancellation of the elite license. How is that a penalty?
See, this is what I'm saying here, and it's absolutely shocking. And I don't know what else I know there's prize money, there's prize money for the elite racers. But if you're going to be midway down the table, you're not going to be in the prize money anyway. So you're going to want to run age group. You want to get the kudos, you want to get the podium, whatever you want to call it. It's been called lots of things over the time. Either run age group or run elite. But if you're going to have to run elite, run elite. You know, I would sooner run elite and come halfway down the table, yeah, knowing that I've run elite races against the best in the world, than turn around and say I'd run AG. And I say this because my Tough Mudder event, not this year, my WTM last year, and my ETM, I don't talk about winning age group. Well, I do talk about winning age group, but I talk more about the performance I did. When at ETM, I come top 20, and at WTM, I come top 100. That, to me, is a better performance. Competing against the whole picture and not just a few. Don't get me wrong, I like to win. I like to win age group. It's a bit of a kudos for me. But, people say to me, what's your greatest score apart from winning Wolfram when I run against everyone? I would turn around and say ETM. I think it was 16th or 18th. I can't remember. 16th or 18th. My first ETM, 16th or 18th overall. I'll take that any day.
Yeah, and it feels like a halfway house. It feels like they had this great idea and then they got cold feet of basically thinking, well, if we force people to do elites, what's going to happen is they just won't race Spartan anymore and they'll sulk. And it's so hard because, yeah, you get people like that, but eventually you'd get people who it just becomes the norm to qualify for elite and become elite and see where they finished. Right, Al, I know we've got a few things. One thing is the most popular race format, which I'm going to table for next week. We'll have a chat about that next week. So, listener, put your thinking caps on and think about what you think the most popular race format is. Please don't go on a certain publication that we get news for because that may or may not have the answer. So think about it yourself and let us know what you think is the most popular race format. I'm going to briefly mention Deadly Dozen, which has a week off this week because they're over at Dekka supporting Dekka. I love that Deadly Dozen does this. So they're going, they're having a wave there. Recently, we had the announcement that Deadly Dozen India is coming, and that's going to have its first race in November. So if you ever fancied visiting India, have a look. It'll be a lot warmer than it will be over here. But let's finish with a fun story. Let's finish with Ida, because Ida's done a lot of high rocks recently, hasn't she, Alan? And she went and did something quite extraordinary for Red Bull. And Alan, you're going to have to explain this.
This is amazing. So if you're on YouTube, you can see it. But basically, they got a big Ferris wheel, a huge Ferris wheel, Red Bull, and they decided to spin the Ferris wheel round and round. But on each, instead of putting cars at the end of the Ferris wheel, they put obstacles. So they put monkey bars on there. They put, I want to say, like a wall that you went round. They put a cargo net on there, and Ida decided that while it was spinning, she was going to see how she could keep going. So the whole idea was, as it was spinning, keep going to the end and then climb up a level, go back and do another level. And this is phenomenal. I've watched this about 5 or 6 times, Ian. This is the new Ninja Warrior. This has got to be the new Ninja Warrior. This is absolutely amazing. And the fear factor, while it's spinning, that you've got to make it to the next level must have been so scary. And this is like, wow, it's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy.
Unbelievable. Well done to Ida. We know she's both an OCR athlete, both fitness racing athlete. And I do like the fact that this is one of them activations Red Bull did, which didn't impact anyone else. We talked a few weeks ago about how they did the Race the Sun, which impacted people. I absolutely love this. I wouldn't like to do it, although I will say it brings up, if it becomes a thing, and it probably won't, but if it becomes a thing, I noticed that Ida wasn't wearing shoes. So presumably we can't talk about what trainers are best to take on the OCR Ferris wheel, but could we talk about best harness?
The best harness, yeah. Yeah, innovate harness beats Salomon harness every day of the week. Much less chafing.
Absolutely. But yeah, listener, if you're on YouTube, obviously you can watch it. We do our best to not, and we would have talked about this whether we're on YouTube or not. If you can, go and look at this if you haven't already. It's so fun. Ida's a great athlete and ambassador for sports in any event, so go and support it. Alan, I think I'm out of notes other than the homework we've set our listeners. Have you got anything else to chat about?
Um, no, Ian, I'm absolutely. There's nothing else on here. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who rocked up and did everything they did for us at Farmyard. Again, I can't thank everyone enough. I'm sending more and more thanks out to people. And if you want to race next year, watch out, watch our socials, follow us, Overload Run, on Instagram and on Facebook. If you go on Facebook, there's lots of pictures on there at the minute of everyone having fun. Big shout out to Mel Carney, Michelle Carney. She sent me another 250 photos today that she took. So absolutely fantastic. Those are going out over the next few days. So yeah, people just support us. Fantastic. Thank you.
Can I ask a question, actually,
You can.
before we wrap up? You've obviously already done the planning for 2028. Is there a potential that this could be the first ever race where you can register for 2028 before 2027 and do a reverse deferral to race early?
That would be a good thing. That would be a good thing. No.
I know you. The registration of 2028 is probably already out there. Listener, if you know the way that Alan sets up his websites, I bet you could find 2028 and go and register.
Do you know you probably actually could if you know if you know what happens behind the scenes, and most people do because they're very, very similar and everything. You could probably secretly find how to sign up for 2028 already.
So, listener, we're going to let you go and have fun trying to commit a breach of some kind of computer act to register for 2028. With all that being said, it's goodbye from me.
Listeners, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy this. If you have not joined the Patreon train, please join the Patreon train. Send us a video. It's always recording. Thank you to Meg and Will for last week. I will listen, guys. Not had a chance, but I will listen before the end of the week. But in the meantime, everyone, you stay safe, you keep on running, and we will speak to you all soon. Bye.